murder party starring me!
It's foul-mouthed, gory, and violent. Bulletstorm, the Duke of Switch, went on sale this week, making it the perfect opportunity to check out the mutants and monsters, while simultaneously seeing what Duke Nukem has been up to. Hail to the king, baby. This is a game.
Cocksucker.
Bulletstorm, the Duke of Switch is a port of 2011's Bulletstorm developed by People Can Fly and Epic Games. This version of the game is put together by Gearbox Studios and is a port of the Full Clip Lite Edition released in 2017. The controls and cinematic actions all have that classic Epic Games drip, especially noticeable to anyone that's played a Gears of War title. Filled with cartoonishly masculine characters, big armor, big attitude, and bigger guns, the title keeps a frantic pace of murdering everyone in your path, exploding heads, and detaching body parts. Occasionally slowing down to catch a breather or perform a QuickTime event, though these moments are really there to hide the fact that another bloodbath is being loaded in the background. The Switch version has Duke Nukem as a playable character. If you don't know who Duke Nukem is, he's the granddaddy of first-person heroes.
Hail to the king, baby!
The Duke aside, the main story is focused on the adventures of Grayson Hunt, a government-sanctioned assassin that goes AWOL, taking his crew with him and starts enacting revenge on all of those who manipulated his team's loyalty under the guise of patriotism. As luck would have it, the team bumps into their antagonist while exploring deep space, taking the opportunity to bring down the warbird and continue the battle after everyone crash lands on a planet full of mutants and monsters. A few plot reveals, but no major twists for anyone paying attention to the plot. Each of the characters you encounter have their own motivations and goals. None of them are just generic crew members following your every command. There are disagreements and negotiations to try and maximize the outcome for each member. There are plenty of themes in the story, including loss and regret, fall from grace, and the desire for redemption, but ultimately the story is just there for the action to hang its hat on, moving the scenery from one set piece to another. That scenery has some beautiful moments, from crushed buildings to giant fauna. The environmental lighting and design looks interesting. Exploring the nooks and crannies will reveal some minor puzzling aspects that yield power-ups, though the action portions, and therefore the majority of the game, take place in green, brown, and gray corridors, showing off the Gears of War influence. But the moments when the game stops and gives you a chance to look around reveals lush wildlife and lived-in cities, areas you get to occasionally run and gun through. When looking at the visuals, there is no doubt that the game was originally made in 2011. This is the era when skin was textured to look realistic and it didn't stretch or scatter light properly. This is also when everyone wanted to show off their head models. This leads to serious situations becoming hilarious as each character tries to show more teeth than the previous one. Like the toughest son of a gun is the one with the toothiest grimace. Also, the lighting that looks great in the wider environment starts to act a little wonky when crawling through collapsed underground passages, causing the flashlight to light up the path directly ahead while simultaneously doing odd reflections near the character. Of course, this was trying to simulate real light, and it's a bit distracting, but luckily only happens a couple of times, and is only noticeable if your teammate AI starts to lose their mind, so you turn around to find out what the heck they're doing. Who cares about visuals, though? We're here for some high-octane gameplay, and Bulletstorm will provide that. You're dropped into a world where upgrades are granted based on the amount of points you accrue. How do you accrue points? By performing the most ridiculous, over-the-top, coolest kills you can imagine. Shoot someone until they die? That's 10 points. Shoot someone in the balls and then kick their head off? That's 100 points. This is not a joke. The best rewards come from putting bullets in testicles, anuses, and kneecaps, or using your leash mechanic to rip their head off. The higher your points, the better your rewards. Not only can each weapon be powered up to perform over-the-top kills, but ammo and capacity upgrades also come from this point system, so making a more explosive, bloodier kill will provide higher returns. Combine this mechanic with a constant barrage of vulgarities and offensive banter between characters, and you have Bulletstorm. But what if you don't like gore or vulgarities? Lucky for you, there's an option to lighten either content. Turn down the gore or edit the vulgarities. Though I am sure this feature was meant to appeal to those with a more refined palate than my own, I fail to understand who this appeals to. Some of the characters have different scripts, but other points just mute the cuss words and put a dash in the subtitles.
General Serrano, I have
What are you calling me for, maggot? Are you calling me from the job site, you ignorant piece of crap?
General Serrano, I have
What you calling me for, ass maggot? Are you calling me from the job site, you ignorant piece of shit?
Vulgarities might become tiresome to some, as I am one of those who gets tired of just hearing the F word dropped constantly, but toning down the gore is a very strange option to me. In my experience, turning off the gore really just changes some of the blood you are experiencing. You're still throwing guys into spikes, shooting out their kneecaps, and blowing them up with dynamite. I didn't check to see if you can still decapitate characters, but really, in a game like this, the explosions and quarterings of body parts is a decent part of the appeal, especially when the point system demands maximum violence. You ever kick someone into a turbine? You will. What about Duke Nukem? If you so choose, Duke Nukem will replace Grayson Hunt as the main character.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
He has all original lines provided by John St. John, and the addition is so goofy, it's awesome. And the king is as boisterous and ludicrous as ever.
Damn, what's wrong with your face?
Duke really stands out in the cutscenes, and if you do choose to play as Mr. Nukem, you lose all ability to tone down the game. Balls to the wall, baby.
This place is filthy with low-spread radiation. Neither of us will survive if we linger.
Reminds me of L.A.
Overall, I very much enjoyed Bulletstorm Duke of Switch. Perhaps it just hit me at the right time, but a vulgar, offensive, violent video game that doesn't take itself serious was a breath of fresh air in 2023. Sure, it took a video game from a less sensitive era to do it, but at least I got the opportunity. It may look like a take cover and shoot type of game a la Gears of War, but it's actually more focused on strategically dispatching enemies with a fast-paced, aggressive offense. Sure, you may get your turds crammed in a time or two, but the vast majority of the game is spent moving forward. Shooting feels powerful, effective, and rewarding. The same goes for melee attacks and the more punishing kills. There's no time to get bored either, as the game doesn't overstay its welcome. I believe my first playthrough took a little over 8 hours to complete, ending with the possibility of a sequel, which gets talked about every once in a while.
Don't let him flank us!
I got Bulletstorm Duke of Switch on sale for around $8. This was a fantastic deal. The normal list price is $30. I find that a little steep for the age of this game, showcasing the Switch tax for a title that has no physical release. But I would feel perfectly happy paying around $20. Thank you for watching wherever you're watching. Please consider subscribing and have a good day.